Welcome once again for the webinar on how to improve our sleep, a 3-step roadmap to restorative sleep. Strategies that we can use so that we can wake up fresh in the morning and then end the day feeling accomplished. What are the secrets to have a restorative sleep? Strategy to achieve deep and restorative sleep begins the minute you wake up. Sleep doesn't begin when you put your head on a pillow. It's already too late. So the minute you wake up every morning, how you conduct your day, either you are stressed or you are at ease, or whether your day is fulfilled or boring, that actually determines the quality of your sleep at night. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and click the notification button for more videos like this. 3 steps. First is awareness about sleep, about the effects of sleep, and then the consequences if we are not getting enough sleep. And then I'll give also some technical information about this very brief one about sleep cycles. First one, we'll be talking about the awareness, the effect and the consequences on both, not just physical. Physical, I think, is quite simple. The consequences are the also mental and emotional level of having improved sleep. So let's begin with awareness. So why isn't your sleep deep, or why isn't your sleep restorative? The first part is more internal related. The brain cannot shut down. Internal means it's deeper at the subconscious level. You might know, you might not know, right? This word interesting, I put grief. Grief can eat us up sometimes that we are not even aware. It's a very tricky one. This comes from, again, like my experience in body talk, right? It's like I did something subconsciously, right? I did something bad and I don't deserve to get better, or something that I've lost in the past. And I feel this sadness that I'm not able to express. So the body feels this grief and is holding on to these emotions. That takes up a lot of energy to keep this going. So it's not fully shutting down. Or guilt, feeling bad, I could have done better. So when we say things like I could have done better, I should have, could have, and whatever not, what is this saying in the system? It's like, I haven't done enough. So if I haven't done enough, guess what? I'm not allowing myself to shut down. So that's why the brain, the system is very active. And worry is also another killer, because if you worry, it means your system is active. Either your brain, your mind, every single cell is thinking of tomorrow, right? Thinking of worry about children, worrying about health, worry about finance, where am I going to get money, worry about the unknown, right? So it's tomorrow, whatever. So you see then that the brain is very active. It's not able to shut down. So indirectly also saying, if we have all or some of the above that I just mentioned, our body is trapped in this 5F. What is 5F? Simplest way to say it is stress, long-term stress. So I'm sure we heard of this term called fight or flight, or fight and flight. So that's 2F, but what are the 3 other Fs? So fight, flight, freeze, faint, fawn. It's just trapped in stress that it's not able to move on. Right, so that's I do have a video on that somewhere in a YouTube. If you guys are interested, you can email me and I'll send you the link to watch what is this 5F. Or the body is still trapped in some form of trauma that we might have experienced even when we are 5 years old, depending on your age right now. So it's interesting that body is not fully out of stress, or some kind of illness or diagnosis, again, even once upon a time, or habit. We got used to this habit, or sometimes it's like this person say, that person say, this is what I read online. You know, you try to follow what is the external recommendation. But my message as a body talk practitioner is listen to your body. Other people can give recommendation, but tune in, do whatever you do, and find out. Just have you'll be more aligned to know what your body wants. Right. So this habit is something that we want to break through as well. And finally, this is more me, and I put a bracket personal story, so I remember to share my story. So constantly feeling undone or incomplete. So I feel like I'm finished business. This was me when I couldn't sleep, because I felt like my day, I haven't done enough. So this is like that almost like a perfectionist part. I have not done enough, I could have done this, done that. If I have something, an event, for example, like this in the past, I possibly wouldn't be able to sleep properly 2 or 3 nights before. So that's very me. Some of the stuff that I know, I'm conscious that I need to do, but some of the stuff that I don't even know. So I will toss and turn. Okay, so those are internal. Technically speaking, you can't do much about it on a conscious level. The good news is a body talk session is able and has helped so many clients to uncover, reveal, and especially heal all those unresolved emotions and unresolved businesses, so that your system can eventually relearn how to shut down and you will have your beauty sleep again. What is contributing to a disruptive sleep cycle? I think you see from this image, it also tell you already, right? Young children, pets, either you're a caregiver, snoring partner, or if you are a feeding or nursing mom, like you breastfeed your kid, and that's in the past. So your sleep cycle is already quite affected, even though your kid is maybe 16 years old right now, but your sleep cycle has been affected since you are breastfeeding. So this is some stuff that like body talk would be able to help get the body out of that active memory mode. Or excessive reliance on substance. It could be it's a natural stuff. For example, is it melatonin? So we're too reliant on things. 1 glass of red wine. So it's nothing wrong with that. When I say excessive reliance, means in the absence of doing that, you can't sleep. So you're relying on that solely to help you sleep. That is not really pleasant as well. And finally, nightmare, or you are on call. I think on call work and shift, that's slightly different, right? Shift, the body might get used to it, but on call is like you sleep and then anytime you get the call, you have to run to work or on demand. But it doesn't mean on call as in work, but sometimes as a new mom as well, it's almost like on call. The kids or family member will call you. Or this one, frequent bathroom trips at night. I do sip water before I sleep, but I still don't really wake up to go to the bathroom. So it's interesting to see what is it that on a health level, right? What is it that is contributing that frequent bathroom trips? Okay, effects. So these are some of the effects of poor sleep. Memory full. It is when we sleep, the body is clearing out those like switching off your computer. It's clearing off those RAM memory. So if we are asleep, it's not really deep and restorative. It's like your memory bank is like memory full. So what's the consequence of that? Poor retention. It's like nothing can enter anymore. And learning is very difficult to learn something. It's like nothing gets in anymore because the memory is full. Then of course you'll be forgetful. Again, same concept, memory full. And then we tend to make mistakes a lot. We feel very stuck, and then we get less lack of clarity in life or in things that we do. And of course, if your memory is full, then you can take it forward to say that of course, then your productivity and your focus is not optimized. So your attention span is low, concentration is low. The sad thing for me to see is intuition is low, indecisive, uncertain, and fickle. When I say sad with intuition, because if your own intuition is low, what's the consequence of that? You keep asking people for solution. And health, you can go on and on. Keep it simple. Hormonal imbalance is one, and almost every other thing is also related to hormones. If you think of major hormonal glands, the pineal, pituitary, the thyroid, thymus, pancreas, so all those, and your ovaries, of course. So if you think of if some of this is imbalanced, your life is quite out of whack. You can feel pretty much off balance, either emotionally or what do you call that, physically as well. And it's also tied in very closely to this over or underactive immune system. If your immune system is low, doesn't have a very clear sense of direction. Enemy come, don't know how to fight. Or enemy is not attacking, you also fight. So it's also quite challenging. And the next one is recurring, means recurrence as to symptoms keep recurring. Like if you have this pain, every once in a while, either a headache or backache, migraine, PMS, whatever. So in short, recovery is very slow. If it's recurring, well, all it means is we are using substances to stop the symptom. The problem is not really solved. I just want to say that it's not a one-off that you sleep well tonight. Doesn't mean this is forever, right? It takes time to adjust and to reset sleep cycles. And then what are the dangers? How is prolonged sleep deprivation, or some websites, some people call it sleep debt, like you collect debt, right? Let's say if you're supposed to sleep 8 hours and you've been sleeping 5 hours a day, it's almost like a debt that we collected. So what are the dangers? Addiction. So because if we can't sleep, we get addicted to stuff, right? Alcohol. Probably it's not a nice one for me to say alcohol, because we can get addicted to what? Melatonin and some of the stuff that later I'll be sharing with you as well. So it's nothing in my work as a body talk practitioner, that nothing is ever good and bad, right? At the end of the day, the goal is to reset our body to be able to sleep on its own. That's the ideal. And what else? Weight gain. So it's interesting, right? Lack of sleep actually contributes to what do you call it? Weight gain, because certain substances are released that will trigger hunger, and therefore we eat more, appetite more. So it's interesting that gain is related to sleep. Clumsy, accident prone, because we are still half the time groggy, and accident prone could also lead to a weak immune system, less sense of ability. Those who have done body talk would have known this word called Wei Qi, right? Wei Qi is weak, a defense mechanism is weak, and therefore we are more prone to accidents. Chronic self-esteem. So it's like if you're not sleeping well, you feel sluggish, you can't perform, and over time it becomes lower self-esteem, and not because you are not someone who's confident. It's just that your body doesn't have the energy to support you to do what you are capable of. So that's quite sad, right? Just like a kid who's intelligent, he knows his stuff, but then if he's tired, go to school, can't perform. Constantly feeling undone. It's like, oh my God, there's so much thing that I want to do that I can't do, and all this keep compiling. Lack of motivation, no drive. Like even if you have the drive, you just have no mood to want to do anything. And this is another one that's quite significant, but sometimes we don't even realize that. So I put this like marriage problems due to reduced sex drive. That goes back to the hormonal imbalance as well. Okay, and finally, what is the consequence on the mental and emotional level? So in this image, you are like a walking time bomb. You get this time bomb ticking on your belt, for example, means you're easily triggered. You have bad temper, impatience, or even depressive or moody. So walking time bomb, right? Somebody say the wrong thing, you're gonna explode. On the more mental level is this sense of feeling insecure, self-doubt, constantly doubting yourself, not trusting yourself. And of course, if you don't trust yourself, you will project outwards of not trusting other people as well. And of course, if you don't trust other people, what's going to happen to your relationships? Either you're going to all the time being paranoid, is this person going to cheat me? Is this person going to scam me, or whatever it is? And then you're constantly on the alert, and then the relationship really goes down the drain after a while. On a spiritual level or more individual level, it's this feeling the sense of stagnation, the boredom, or rather laziness, and you see yourself lost in these loops. Like you keep doing the same thing over and over. If you enjoy it, of course, it's fine. This is saying that like you just can't get out to the next level, whatever you're capable of. Even whatever you're capable of, I mentioned a few times already, it just doesn't have the energy to support you. And then the worst thing is lack of inspiration and or lack of purpose. I say lack of inspiration means inspiration comes from within. If you lack of inspiration, what would you look out for? Externally motivated, externally stimulated. So either you rely on certain things, certain people, or you go workshops to get motivated. That's a little bit of danger sign already. instead of motivation, we want to look for inspiration, like something that you want to wake up in the morning, not every morning, sometimes, right? Like you just want to wake up and feel inspired. Then it is then that's life is more exciting. A bit of technical information. So when we sleep, there's this thing called sleep cycle. So if you Google, the answer will come out like there are 4 sleep cycles. One sleep cycle is approximately 90 to 120 minutes per cycle. So it's like 1 bar is 1 cycle. So in a night, for example, if there's 4 sleep cycles, so you multiply the 90 by 4. So that's why when we sleep 6 to 8 hours, depends on how long is your cycle, that is 4 cycles of sleep. That means you will sleep, let's say your cycle is, keep it in the middle, right? Simple, 100 minutes. After the 100 minutes, you will actually wake up. And then you supposedly, you go back into the light sleep. So you actually wakes up every now and then. If we are too, so if, like for example, if I rely on alcohol to fall asleep, I'll fall asleep very fast. But my sleep is actually not rested because after the alcohol have worn off, the last or the half part of your sleep is actually not deep. So I mean, if those of you who wear sleep trackers or whatever, then you go track to see if what I'm saying is true. This is the new sleep tracker that I got recently that is able to track the REM sleep. So this is actually 28th of June, which is just last week when I first got the thing. Of course, you notice that my total sleep is about 6 hours on this night. This is about 3 sleep cycles. And my deep sleep is only 59 minutes. REM is hour 13, which means this night I only slept 6 hours. My deep sleep is still 2 hours. That makes it 36%. Remember I said my average is 30%, and this was last night. So I was so excited about this webinar today. I definitely slept early last night. I slept about 9.5 hours. My deep sleep is not so fantastic, but I still managed to get a total of 30%, which is 3 hours deep plus REM sleep. So it's still doable with excitement. So this takes about 4 cycles of sleep. You can see in the beginning stage, there's a lot more of the green stuff. My average sleep is still 33%. This is more recent. So this is what I talk about, 5 stages of sleep, which means within one sleep cycle, there are this, if you Google says a majority of it says 4 stages, right? One cycle have 4 stages. But for me, I felt like the things that we needed to do comes into phase 0. So I created this phase 0. Right? So what is phase 0? Phase 0 is preparation. Like what can we do to help our body unwind or get out of stress and then to reset your sleep rhythm? So this is where after that we'll be talking about the 3 short and 3 long-term solutions, some recommendations. So these are all preparations, because the minute you put your head down on the bed, right, unless you take supplements or you do stuff, there's nothing much you can do about it already. But you can read a lot of this stuff. The ebook that I created has some information. Stage 1 is when we drift into sleep. So your mind starts to switch off. So the quality of sleep is very light. This is a stage that if somebody interrupt you, like it's noisy, you can get easily disturbed. And stage 2 is when you slowly fall asleep. So when you fall asleep, what does the body do? Is you sleep, right? You constantly sleep. Your body is very busy. It's like a different shift work takes place within your body. Right? So this is called light sleep. So imagine if your day is stressful, you have this argument with this person and blah, 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 blah. It doesn't get processed. It doesn't get sought out to be transferred to this thing called a long-term memory. Or in those who have done Body Talk Fundamentals, it remains an active memory and not a passive memory. Right? So it stays in that system that led to that memory full. Okay, so again, let's say it's a perfect scenario, they all get sorted out. And then when we go into deep sleep, that's where the body starts to prepare to heal. Put them in a long-term memory, and then whatever needs to be released or let go, it will do so. Then why do you think First thing in the morning, we wake up, most of us go to the bathroom. Even in the meridian system, right? The stomach, the large intestine meridian is like spleen stuff. It's like 7 to 9 p.m. That's when we go and poop. So that's when the body has sorted out all this thing, we push it down to the intestine and we poo it out, so-called. Yeah, so, and we go even stage 4, we go in deeply asleep. That's when the body does the tissue repair, the cell regeneration. Again, especially us in Body Talk, right? You said your body heals itself. And the body does that when we are deeply asleep. And that's when the short-term memory has already processed whatever it needs to process. So it's not like deep sleep is better than light sleep, right? It's like every phase has a function and has its duty. It's the next one called the REM sleep, right? So if my day is pretty calm, for example, then I go into REM sleep. So it might just process some older stuff, right? Some older, updating certain older memories. Like it's not bad, but as we move ahead, things needs to change. Like what works for me when I was 16 years old, what was good then is possibly not good now. So the body knows how to search for those and starts to clean up. So this is sometimes done in a REM sleep as well when we are dreaming. So in dreams, we play out, right? So sometimes we move and stuff like that in REM sleep. So this is some technical about the stages of sleep. Again, as a reminder, stage so-called 1 onwards is pretty much we already falling asleep. What we need to do to help us to improve sleep is the stage 0. So much for information. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and click the notification button for more videos like this.